Follow me! Move fast! The flood will destroy our home!
Run! The water is coming, Kara! We must leave!
Stay close! We go!
A great flood. The rains came heavy. For 3 days and nights, water fell like a curtain. The river grew wild and angry. It rose over its banks and rushed through the grove. Nests fell. Food washed away. A young ape, curious and playful, slipped into the current. Jaga jumped after him. The water pulled them both. It spun them around and smashed them into branches. Jaga grabbed a low vine with one hand and the young ape's wrist with the other. The vine bent and almost broke. His shoulders burned with pain. He roared through his teeth and pulled. The young ape coughed and clung to Jaga's neck. Upstream, Kura and 2 strong males waded in. They formed a chain with their arms. Jaga kicked toward them. Hands met hands. They pulled both boys out. The tribe cheered. Kura stood over Jaga silently, then touched her forehead to his. That was all. It was enough. Fire in the dry season. Later, during a dry month, lightning struck a dead tree. Fire ran through the grass like a red snake. Smoke filled the air. Birds flew in panic. Small animals rushed in every direction. The flames moved toward the sleeping trees where mothers and infants rested. Jaga climbed a tall trunk and looked. The fire would wrap around the grove if it found the dry leaves to the north. He slid down and ran with a group of young apes. They used big palm leaves to beat small fires before they grew. Jaga pulled wet mud from the riverbank and spread it in a line to slow the flames. He shouted and waved to push animals away from the hottest places. The fire licked the mud line and hesitated. The wind shifted. Rain came. The fire died. The grove still stood. That night, the tribe sat close. The air smelled like smoke and wet ash. Jaga listened to the small sounds of sleep and felt something strong and steady rise inside him. It was not pride. It was a promise: protect them. Beyond a ridge lived another ape tribe, led by Barak, a heavy male with silver hair and a hard mouth. He wanted Kura's river and figures. He wanted power. First came the challenges with chest beating and roaring. Then came stolen fruit. Then came real fights. Jaga's mind worked like the river, always moving, finding new paths. He led 2 young apes to pretend to be careless scouts where Barak's fighters could see them. At the same time, he and a fast ape named Roko hid near a dead tree that leaned over a narrow path. When Barak's males charged, Jaga and Roko cut the holding vine. The heavy limb dropped, broke their line, and made the ground confusing. Kura's fighters rushed in from the flanks. The rivals stumbled back. Jaga did not chase far. He did not waste breath. He kept the tribe safe. Barak set a trap. He left a pile of good fruit near the border. When a young ape reached for it, hidden nets made of vines snapped up from the ground. 3 of Barak's fighters dropped from branches. Jaga had guessed this would happen. He had hidden a second set of lines above their heads. When the rivals jumped, he pulled his rope. They fell into a shallow pit lined with dull stakes. Not to kill. To warn. Kura's roar filled the air. The young ape was freed. Barak's men went home with cuts and shame. Jaga sat by the river and watched the water move. He thought of the mother he had lost and the mother he had found. He put a small, smooth stone into the river and watched it disappear. He told himself, I will lead, not just fight. By 15, more apes looked to Jaga before they acted. They copied the mud marks he drew on his arms before a hunt. They used his small stone signs on the ground, a circle for wait, a cross for do not pass, 2 lines for the danger near. He did not ask to be followed. He became someone worth following. New predators, new plans. He learned to respect elephants. He never stood in their way. He always let them pass. One old elephant, with a torn ear, nodded to Jaga once as if to say, I see you, little king not yet a king. A shadow inside the tribe. Not every danger came from outside. A young male in Kura's tribe, Koza, disliked Jaga. Koza was strong and proud. He thought a human should not give orders to apes. He laughed at Jaga signs. He spoke softly to others and tried to turn them against Jaga. One night, Koza led two friends to steal food from the common store and hide it for themselves. Jaga saw the missing fruit in the morning. He said nothing. He set a simple test. He smeared a paste of crushed berries and ash on the storage vines, a paste that left a faint mark on hands but looked like dirt. That night, Koza came again. In the morning, Jaga asked all to show their palms. Koza's hands told the truth. He shouted and tried to fight. Kura raised her hand. The tribe watched. Jaga did not hit Koza. He said with slow signs, "We share. Or we fall." Koza looked at the ground. He left the grove for a season. He returned quieter. A big hunt and a bigger lesson. Food was low 1 week. The tribe needed meat. Jaga planned a hunt for a large boar that had grown bold and dangerous. He mapped the boar's path. He dug shallow pits and covered them with leaf mats. He made a fence of branches to guide the boar toward the pits. The hunters waited behind tree trunks with strong spears. The boar came, fast and angry. It crashed into the fence. It fell into a pit and climbed out. It charged again. Jaga ran across the front of the pit and drew the boar toward a second trap. The boar followed, heavy and fierce. It fell a second time into a deeper hole with smooth sides. The hunters brought it down quickly and without waste. They thanked the forest. They shared the meat equally. Even Koza received his share. Jaga watched to make sure no one was forgotten. That night, Jaga told the young ones, the boar was strong. We were many. We used our heads. We used our hands. That is how we live. Age 16 to 18, the path to a crown. Jaga was now tall and fast, with scars like small pale rivers on his skin. He could climb like an ape and run like a deer. He could speak with signs better than anyone. He could listen. He listened to Kura when she said, "Wait." He listened to Roko when he said, "Be bold." He listened to the trees when they creaked before a storm. Barak grew old and angry. A younger fighter from his tribe, Oren, wanted to lead.